Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. A couple of days ago, Samsung released One UI 8.5 Beta 4. The reason I'm late is because I was struggling to install it with a lot of error messages, but thankfully I finally have it fully functional on the S25 Ultra to show you all the new changes. So without further ado, let's jump in. Starting with the update size and build number here on the S25 Ultra, the build number ends in 7ZZAL, and the update size, if you're gonna install it in one of the supported countries, it's about 1.5 gigabytes. Even though this update is not small, but the number of new changes is not as big as the size suggests, and that's why this video will be classified into two sections. I will start with the new changes related to Beta 4, then I will show you a lot of other new changes related to 8.5 in general that I never mentioned in my previous videos. The first couple of changes are not new features, but Samsung reverted back some of the visual tweaks I have seen in Beta 1 and Beta 3, starting with the media controls in the Now bar. The buttons used to have bigger gaps between them as per the screenshot you see on the left side, but currently it's back again to the same old design of One UI 8. And the second change that's also reverted is the pagination dots. In the previous betas, they used to be a lot smaller than One UI 8, but after installing Beta 4, they are back again to the same size we used to have. In contrast, there is a new minor visual tweak in the screen recorder. When you choose the partial option and then hit start recording, you will see that the handles are now using sharp edges, while previously they were slightly curved. Moving to the gallery app, I spotted two new changes. The first one is very minor. When you go to settings and then go to the photo assist, you will see a new header image for the feature. The second change is also related to the photo assist feature, but inside the editor itself, you will notice here that the style option is missing because it didn't detect the face, while previously when the same happens, it used to become grayed out. To show you what I mean, when I quit this photo and try another one where it can detect the person, it will actually show you the style option here at the bottom. Another minor visual tweak is in the weather app. When you start scrolling, you will notice here that the location chip at the top is now more transparent than what it used to be in the previous betas. Before jumping to the next chapter, let me show you the latest wallpapers added to the Wallpapers by In-Depth Tech Reviews app. More than 60 new wallpapers added to the collection. So if you want to get your hands on all of these exclusive wallpapers, you will find Google Play Store download link in the description. And now let's get back to One UI 8.5 Beta 4. Starting this point, all the new changes I'm gonna show you are not specific to Beta 4, but we got them along the way. So let's start with Samsung Internet. First, the homepage got a complete revamp. The search or enter URL bar at the top is now more rounded, thicker, and shifted towards the bottom. The shortcuts area is exactly the same, but you can add extra information in the newer version, which you can edit by using this new settings button next to the profile picture. When you tap on it, here you can edit the shortcuts. When you highlight any of them, it will give you the option to rename, share, or delete. And when you multi-select, you can share and delete only. Then you can add shortcuts from other devices. And because I'm signed in with the same Samsung account on my S24 Ultra, I can see all the shortcuts added, so I can migrate them easily. After that, I have the ability to add extra cards to my home page. So I have from other devices, I have the privacy report and most visited pages. And lastly, I can change the wallpaper, which will give me access to the stock wallpapers I have. Plus, I can pick any wallpaper from my gallery. And at the end, here is how it looks. As you see, it's much better in comparison. The second change is the redesigned menu. Starting with the icon, you will see a totally different icon now. Plus, when you expand both, we no longer have this grid design, but currently we have a vertical list. And by the way, you no longer have the option to reorder the items over here like we used to have. So for example, when I go to settings on both and then jump to layout and menus, then customize menus, you'll notice here that the menu section is completely gone. And the only thing you can customize now is the toolbar. Moving to the tab switcher, you will see a lot of differences. First, the toolbar at the bottom is using the same rounded and floating design of 8.5, which looks much better in comparison. Plus, the synced tabs option is now available in the toolbar instead of being hidden under the ellipses like before. Not only this, but when you take a look here at the close button of each tab, it's now surrounded with a container, plus the currently active one is highlighted with a blue border. And when you compare the tab groups, you will see multiple differences. First, the group name is now showing at the bottom and centered. The thumbnails of the subtabs is bigger than One UI 8, plus the color coding now covers the entire window, not just this tiny icon at the top left corner. So for example, when I edit the two groups and choose, let's say, the green color, it's a lot more obvious in 8.5 which group is green because this one is very tiny. The rest of the changes I'm gonna show you are under settings, starting with the browsing assist. Now in 8.5 you can turn off this feature entirely, while previously if you want to turn it off you have to go inside each sub menu to turn it off individually. So this one makes it easier for you. Under the address bar menu, you will see a new toggle here called Save Recent Searches. So if you don't want to save the recent searches, now you can turn this feature off. Under layout and menus, switching from the standard to the bottom navigation bar got this brand new design instead of just a toggle. Plus, as I mentioned earlier, when you go to customize menus, we no longer have the main menu section like before. And lastly, the privacy dashboard is now called Security and Privacy. Before jumping to the next chapter, let me pause for a minute to tell you about more features in Akiflow, an AI time management tool that I've been talking about for a while. Besides how easy you can assign time blocks to your tasks and emails using this simple drag and drop gesture, understanding how you spend your time is crucial to optimize your productivity. With Akiflow's stats feature, you can gather insights on how you are allocating your time among various activities. See where most of your efforts are going, whether into meetings, tasks, or solo activities, and with these insights you can make informed decisions to structure your upcoming weeks for maximum efficiency. What improves your efficiency even more is the AI assistant. You can use it to add tasks to your projects, schedule or reschedule your existing ones, and if you are not sure what else it can do, just ask and it will tell you. Plus, you have the ability to use the microphone to dictate your command, which is faster than typing, and it works great as shown in this example. Not to mention, all of these features are accessible from the mobile app on your iPhone or Android phone. If you are interested to give Akiflow a chance to take your time management tool to the next level, you will find all the links in the description. And now let's get back to the video. The next app to compare is Samsung Notes. Starting with the home page, here in 8.5 you will notice that the thumbnails are bigger and you can only see 2 items per row. The Add PDF shortcut that we used to have is no longer showing, and your only option to add a PDF now is to open the actual note, then tap on the plus button. Also, the sorting options got removed from this area, and now you can see it under the ellipses. When you tap on sort, you can see all the available options in this floating menu. The new note button is now black instead of red, and when you take a look here, you will see that the notes are classified by year. So I have 2025 and 2024. The search page also got redesigned, and now there is a darker background behind the filters for easier readability. Plus, the search bar is now on top of the keyboard instead of showing on top. The multi-select menu also has a lot of new changes. The first one is the new cancel button at the top right corner. Plus, when you expand the more menu, you will see it's now more simplified. First, the save as file is now called save as, and the two options which are called share as single note and add to shared notebook are now merged together under one menu called collaborate. And here you can invite others to join, which is the same thing as share as single note, or you can add to shared notebook, which matches this one. But the option to generate cover is no longer showing in 8.5. And when it comes to creating new notes, you will see some differences. When you tap on the plus button on both, you will notice here that now you have the ability to add table, which didn't exist before. Plus, the scan option is now called document scan. And when you compare the more menu, you will see some differences as well. First, the edit cover option is now gone. The page template is now called note style, and it opens in this floating card with filters at the top to make the navigation easier. Then when you expand both again, you will notice here that the Share Note is now called Collaborate. The next app we have is Samsung Calendar, and the first change you will notice here is the smaller and more rounded text box at the bottom. Not only this, but when you tap on it to create a new event, you will see a different design for the floating card. And the last change is under the calendar settings. Now we have a new toggle to hide past events. Next, the phone app. The first change is the same floating navigation bar we've seen in all other apps. Moving to the contacts page, here you can view your favorites as cards or as list, and you can adjust this under the ellipses. Here you have view favorites as list or view as cards. And by the way, this change also applies to the contacts app. And the last change is under the app settings. When you open the call alerts and ringtone, you will see a new toggle here called Vibrate While Ringing. And the last app to compare in this video is the Recorder app. The first thing you will notice here is the time is now next to the play and pause button instead of showing underneath it. Plus, it has this container around it. Also, the cursor that you use to move forward or backward is also smaller in One UI 8.5. And of course, the actions bar got the same floating design we've seen in all other apps. Plus, the recordings are also classified by date, same as the Notes app. And when you tap on the ellipses and then choose sort, you will see the same new sort menu we've seen in the Notes app as well. And when you go to the full screen player, you will see some differences. The first one is the bookmarks and add bookmarks buttons are now at the bottom of the screen. The add bookmarks is showing right away, while the bookmarks option is hidden under this expandable menu. You can also see the skip silence, repeat, and speed under the same hidden menu. Plus, the buttons are now a lot bigger. Plus, the waveform is now bigger with no background color. And if there is no speech in the recording, it doesn't offer you to transcribe it, which is smarter than the previous version. The recording screen is also much better with One UI 8.5. First, you can see this animation around the record button. The waveform looks a lot better. Plus, the add bookmark button is now showing at the bottom of the screen instead of showing at the top for easier reachability. And we no longer have this play button, but instead you can only see the bookmarks button over here, and the play is now floating over the waveform. Plus, the standard text at the top left corner is now showing under the time, and it's called standard mode. Lastly, when you tap and hold on any of the buttons in 8.5, you can see the action it's about to do, while previously that was not the case. Some of the buttons doesn't show you the name, while currently you can tap and hold on any of them to understand what it does exactly. Now it's time to talk about the bug fixes that come with this build, and here is a screenshot from the changelog under the phone settings. First, we got a fix for an issue where the clock on the lock screen moved down, fixed an issue when clicking search history in the phone app, and fix for an issue that resolved the problem where calls switch to the device under specific conditions while using a Bluetooth headset, fixed an issue when pasting phone numbers into the keypad after clicking a call link, and finally fixed an issue where AI select does not automatically close when copy is selected. Now let's talk about my experience with the performance and stability of this build while filming the video. Starting with the stability, I'm really impressed. No minor or major bugs whatsoever while shooting the video, so I couldn't spot any problem. Everything works exactly as expected. And when it comes to the performance, the phone is extremely snappy, and I think everything works perfectly well. And if you're wondering about my Geekbench scores, I just did it, but unfortunately I don't have any history because I had to wipe the device to install beta 4. And you can compare these numbers to whatever you have on your S25 Ultra. I got 9,400 for the multi-core and 3,011 for the single core. And when it comes to the GPU, I got 18,074. So that's pretty much it for today. These are all the new changes I wanted to show you in One UI 8.5 Beta 4. Please let me know in the comments if I missed anything. But for now, thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.